Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for True show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard, you don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart, yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Good night. Welcome to A Time for True show. It's 2024, and we have so much to look forward to because a lot is going to happen this year. You can feel it. We all are looking for change. We're all looking for a new direction. We've learned a lot from the turmoil and crises of the last few years, and we're going to be moving forward. It's a pleasure again to be with you. I'm Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, your host on A Time for Truth. And tonight we have an issue of the utmost importance, because when you look at it, what is one of the commonalities we have worldwide is we have that every group, every creed, every culture is looking for freedom, is looking for liberty, the ability to live their lives as they would decide. Really, that's probably the highest necessity, desire, and wish of really, I think, all mankind, to be the king or the queen of their universe, of their land, regardless of the size, to feel empowered. And tonight we're very lucky to have with us an international humanitarian who really, I think, has about 32 hours in a day, because I have no idea and concept of how it's possible that he does all that he does, but he does. And so, engineer, let's put his pictures up on the screen as we introduce our international guest, Mr. Jerry Perez de Tagle. There you see him. And you see, with a myriad of programs around him, amazing. Truly amazing. He's recognized really globally in North America, Europe, Asia, for inspiring common sense application of ethics, human rights, control of harmful drugs, and social betterment. And here you see him with his Asian American voter group that we'll be going into and delving into tonight. And he's focused on two major campaigns. But on this particular show, we're going to highlight and spend our time on his nonpartisan program of registering over 1 million new voters in the U.S. and to assure liberty and justice and integrity and the ability to decide our lives. This man, Mr. de Tagle, has been honored with an International Freedom Medal for his work globally on bringing happiness and honesty to our world, integrity. And it's a pleasure to have him. And Buddha, if you will, let's bring him up live. And we're going to bid a warm time truth welcome to Mr. Jerry Perez de Tagle, all the way from Philippines. Hello, Mr. de Tagle.
Hello, mabuhay!
Mabuhay!
Diaz.
In Philippines is
It's a
Buenos
warm
dias.
hello and thank you for this opportunity to be.
Absolutely. You know what? It's so important with what's going on.
Diaz. It's almost 10 a.m. morning.
So what I was going to say to you is if you could tell us a little bit about your campaign to register 1 million new voters in our country. Please tell us a little bit about this idea. Not an idea, actually, but it's a program in action. Please let us know a little bit about this. Go ahead, please.
Absolutely. I want to preface it by saying that 2024 is a year of change. Some people say it's a year of chaos. I see it as a year of opportunity, of self-determination of peoples in the world. Because I believe half of the world's population are going out and making a decision. In what way? By making a vote in their particular countries and continents. And here in the United States, this year, 2024, is indeed historic. Why? Because it's a presidential election. Truly, but I believe that is democratic processes. It's getting people involved, getting the opinions, speech, freedom, and the views into the public square. And so the context background opportunity, given what the 330 million in the United States, around 7% of the people are to register 1 million of the Asian Americans this year until November, because that's when the U.S. elections are occurring, that we at least have 1 million be registered. Now, our mandate is to register all eligible. But our goal this year, we are startup organizations to empower this community. Why? Also, because it has been established, the electoral group is now the biggest or the fastest growing electoral group in the United States. Would you believe that? And in addition to that, but at the same time, it is strategic and very decisive. Why? Because the Asian American voters has been seen as the decisive vote in the presidential selection, especially in the battleground states.
I would see that it's awakening a lot of interest and different factions that are part of the American way of life. Absolutely. Very, very interesting. And it makes sense what you're saying because here you are now with this group. And that's what why America is so strong, because we have all different cultures and nationalities coming and intermingling here. And, it's so interesting. I'm curious to ask you, how did you come up with this idea? I mean, that's really quite something. So how did you innovate this idea? Please.
For many years here in the United States, I have been active with mainly the Filipino American population in the United States. But what is common of us is that underrepresented, that the political vote is still growing and still has so much potential.
Well, it makes sense that aligning these groups would make things more coherent, move forward.
Then I get specifically the of Asia.
I had no idea there was 25 million Asian voters. Wow. And here you see the drafts of your alliance of Asian American voters dealing with the purpose and your mission statement. And, it's quite amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about this document?
The Alliance of Asian American Voters, AAAV, is what I call it. is was established. I was elected as national chairman last year, and so our key main goal actually to create a voting culture, meaning have all eligible American voters to be registered to vote. That's first, their choices be heard. We are a non-partisan association or alliance. And when I say alliance, the Filipinos, the Chinese groups create a voting culture in our own ethnic communities. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, you know, I think it's a very important step that you're taking because, you know, when you bring collaboration and unity, you know, you're really getting what it is that is desired. Many times I feel that, you know, we don't really find out what does the community need, what does that municipality need, and you know, we overlook that the people in those cities, in those municipalities, in those communities, the people are really the ones who are getting the work done, who are making life go forward. In this technological world, we've forgotten that. I really think it's amazing what you're doing here because you're bringing back the importance of the individual and the importance of the individuals within this group, which happens to be Asian American. And I'm sure this modality or this theme will be something that's going to really impact overall to get a more of an awareness of what people need, not machines need or how to just make profit, but what do the families need and the individuals need. So, Jerry, what would you say about that? Can you comment on that a little bit for us, please?
Absolutely. The theme of the Alliance of Asian American Voters, you can see in the screen. What does that mean? That we be heard, that we are present, that we're not invisible, that our aspiration is voting and selecting its leaders that can support the aspirant group. And so our goal this year is to register 1 million new voters. That's our, and to be able to do that, we are organizing in a conference this February 23 and 24. We want to have 1,000 delegates in this conference. We want to have at least 1,000 volunteers. And what will the volunteers do? We want to create chapters all of the states and all of Asia where there is an American population heard ready to vote and then November.
Very important, you know, so that
so
I think that the viewers watching this need to actually put down this date in California, and if they're interested to attend, you know, this very important conference where this, you know, if we call it principal or federation or alliance, will go forward. And what are the dates again, Jerry? What are the dates and where is this going to be held? So February 23rd and February 24th. And what city of California will this be held in?
I want to share with CWS. It's in Southern California near Los Angeles.
So it'll be in Southern California, February 23rd and 24th. Very good. And this is the promotion piece here that we have in front of us. Is that right?
This is the promotion piece of the Alliance.
I see also that your Asian American Alliance also will be working with the Brown Coalition within the U.S. So then in total, really, now this becomes 85 million Americans that really have commonalities. They have commonalities of origin,
correct,
commonalities of culture. Very, very interesting concept. And you say it's about if I get it right, it's about 85 million. Is that correct?
Right.
Amazing.
We are very diverse. We are very diverse, but we have common ground. So on the common ground, we can unite and awaken this sleeping giant.
This way, the election will really be a result and a representation, which is what our country is. We represent, each person represents a microcosm of the macrocosm of the United States of America. And with so much facing us in the next few years, with the food supplies, with healthcare, with economies and creating jobs, there's so many decisions to be made. I think that what you're putting together here gives the power back to the people. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Now, I have a question for you. Do you have to be Asian American, or can you be Latin American and join this? Can you be Indian and join this? Who can join?
Everyone can join, because the greater goal is to have a voice for every citizen.
Well, you know what? It's important for the people watching. If you want to volunteer for this, it's open to you. And engineer, if you can put up the other letter that he had up there before. There we go. And then you see his group and engaging to really make a difference and to make sure that this 2024 election is representative of what we want it to be. Mr. Tagle is coming. There you see him in the center as chairman of this group. And a tremendous effort he's making to organize so we have the ability of these Americans to partake. And, many times we get into apathy and there's a doldrum, or you feel a laissez-faire. What can I do? My voice, how important is it? So I think what you're doing is so vital. And if the internet is allowing you to speak again, go ahead, Mr. Tagle. The floor is yours.
Yes. Here's the flyer of our national conference in February. So I want to emphasize that we are a non-partisan group, and we have invited President Trump and President Biden to speak in the conference, of course, on 2 separate days, right?
I think it's going to be very interesting because it's a lot of energy that you're going to be having there. And I can see that it's going to attract quite a bit of attention because with 80 million Americans sitting in that block, you're talking about a quarter of the population of the United States, which is what, around 330 million or so. And the last time I looked, maybe a little higher now. But it's very, very important. And this is your mission statement, Jerry?
Yes. So there are points, and I can try saying, first is, we want all to regulate a voting culture. There are close to legal citizens that their oath taking in small Capitol building. I remember my oath taking many years ago. That was very, very historic. And so what we want to do is to have volunteers after oath taking. First action that they can do as a new citizen is that they will be asked to register so that they can vote. First duty as a citizen is to vote. And so our volunteer will have fill out either on or in the paper form the registration. So this is happening in city halls, Capitol buildings every week. And what I know is that no one's really there to welcome them. No one's really there to register them. So that's our goal. Every week, all our volunteers should be there. We will train you. How do you do a non-partisan Do you see the challenge?
Oh, well, it's tremendous. I think that it's definitely a challenge, but I think what you're put
And this is
together
what
is so
we're
important.
saying.
Absolutely. And, you know, for the viewers out there, you can contact at www.aaav.us. I'll give that to you again. You can contact us if you want and volunteer at
Yes.
worldwideweb.aaav.us, or you can text Viber at +1 310-962-4808. I'll give that to you again. Text Viber +1 310-962-4808. And you know, this is
First,
important because as Americans, we have freedom, we have democracy, we have the right to vote, and you know, it's important that we carry on with this. And engineer, how much time do we have left on our show? It seems like the engineer is giving us free reign, Mr. Tagle. So is there anything you would like to say as a concluding statement for our show regarding the Association of Asian Americans together? So it's been a pleasure to have all of you on the show.
all I can say,
It's been a pleasure to have Mr. Tagle. Unfortunately, it seems like this is such a strong and good thing that there's been a lot of blocks to the communication. But I think you're back again. So if you give us a final message to our viewers, George.
to all Asian Americans and to all Americans out there, we have a duty and an opportunity to pay back our country with gratitude. How? By, first of all, registering to vote, becoming a volunteer, and actually voting. So join us. It is a lot of fun as American citizens working together for a common goal and a common good.
Absolutely. I think what you said is so true. And now, how do we say see you later or until later in Filipino?
I was going to say in Espanol, it's called hasta la vista.
Or we can say, well, we want to say hasta pronto, until very soon, hasta pronto. But how do we say hasta pronto or hasta luego in Filipino?
Hasta is ang magkita tayo muli.
And so, Jerry, it's been so great to have you on the show. For all of us watching, let's join him in Southern California, February 23rd and 24th, with his Asian American Alliance of Voters. Let's register to vote. We have a big election coming up. Thank you, Jerry Tagle, coming all the way from the Philippines. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, good night.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet